Hello and welcome back to another tutorial. In the YouTube comments there was a request to have some fall damage, so I set up a health system on this character as well. Please follow the health system tutorial, which is also available to set it up. And today I want to show you something like this. If you fall down from a certain height, you will get damage. So from this height I won't get damage, but if I fall here, I will get damage like that. So that's the plan for today. Let's get right into it. So I've set up the scene, and the only difference is usually I spawn down here and I made sure my character spawns up there so I can test the fall damage right away. I could also make him spawn there in the air just for testing sakes. And just before we start, I added a couple animations to the character. One is death, as I added now the health system with 5 hearts, and a knockout. And the knockout I want to see when I'm falling on the ground. So let's have a short look at these animations. They're on the sprite. If you set it up the same way, please add those. So the knockout, I should call it actually dizzy. So let's have a look here shortly. So it will just put some stars above your head, and then also I have the death animation for when the character dies. And one thing I did for this death animation, if you go to the animator and the death, I didn't put any loop time, so it will only happen once and then the game or the level will restart anyway. And in regard to transitions, the death is a trigger, so set is up here, a trigger. And dizzy, I made a bool. So if dizzy is true, it will be on the ground, circling around. And if false, not. And from dizzy, I always make sure that the transition is back to idle, not to running. So what my idea is to turn off the movement FSM and jump FSM so that for 1 second or for 2 seconds the character is on the ground. So make sure to set this up. It's just a knockout, the transition, nothing special to it. Dizzy is true. I didn't mess around with any other things, but please play around for your character what makes it fit. Right, let's go to the player. And one thing, of course, you have to set up is the health system. There's another tutorial in which I set this up. So please have a look at that and add these health systems and these hearts that in game you have these 5 hearts. However, it looks, for me, it's just something from the internet. I still want to make this a little bit nicer for my real game. And I just took the head sprite, which was included in the package there. Great. So let's get right into it. We have to add one FSM here then. So in this FSM, what I want to do is test the speed of the player when falling. So this fall damage will only work if you have set up your character in a way that it will fall faster over time. And I'm doing this with this, I'm using the better jump script for this one. And that will enable me to go faster over time. So let's call this state fall damage. And this FSM. And the first state is get velocity, or let's say fall speed. And what I want to do is get velocity 2D here. I'm gonna use the owner, and I'm gonna make a new variable for the y, and let's just call this fall speed. And I want to do this every frame. And I want to do this until I am getting a collision 2D event. And the collision 2D event should be with the ground. And because if I fall on any spikes, then I'm also getting damage anyway. So I'm just going to do it with the ground. If you have other things in your level, make sure that those things are then tagged. I'm going to add a transition finished. Make sure to also send the event finished. And you can see now this figure is changing if I'm going up, if I'm going down. And you can see it will change the speed and it will just keep on checking how fast I'm going in which direction. So in your game, this might be different. So the values might be different depending on how you're set up and what your drag values are gravity settings, etc. So once more, let's say check full speed with the float compare. And the float compare will be full speed, and I'm gonna say 25. If I'm falling faster than minus 25, I want to have damage. So that means equal, and I'm gonna make two events. One event is get damage, and I want to event again, go back to check. Gonna add those transitions here, go back to check, get damage. Go back to check, get damage. So if it's equal, I can already say get damage. If it's less than minus 25, so even minus 26 or anything, get damage. If it's greater than, then I want to go back to check. So I want to go back if it's falling again or not. So this is the neutral state. Coming here, I want to send then an event, send event. Yes, to game object FSM using the owner. And there I'm going to the health system. And I already made a global transition, but let's make a new global event just for the sake of showing this. And let's call it full damage. There we go. So let's call this send event. And after I send this event, I have to go to the health system here. And let's just delete this once. And here I'm going to get a global transition, custom event, and here I have now full damage. Full damage is now finished right away, and I'm going to go into the damage player. And this is just in case you set it up like this. So I'm just going to do -1 health. If you want to have full damage more severe or anything else, you can also, of course, also change this figure to -5 or something, and then it will be death right away. But in my case, I will just lose 1 heart and knock out the player. So there's that. Let's go back to the full damage FSM. And after I've sent the event, I'm gonna go straight away to the next state. And here I just want to have some effects, because effects are always fun. And the effects are also, let's say, the animation. So first of all, let's say set animator bool and specify game object to the sprite, and the bool should be dizzy. And the value is here on, so here it's dizzy. I also want create some particle effect, and this is optional, of course, and also some play sound, and create object. Let's make the here the spawn point the player and the audio. So let's have some sound. I have some hit heard. Oops, that's the wrong one. It's here, and let's make it 0.8 or something. Bam. And here I have something as well. And here I have a damage particle effect, which I also want to play. And now this is of course optional, but what I would recommend is set property, or actually what I will do is drag in the FSM here of move, and then set property of enabled. And then if I don't put anything, then I cannot do anything. And also, let's say the direction of the player, set property also here, enabled. And I can do the same for the jump, I suppose, because I don't want to jump. Set property enabled, and I think you get the point if you have certain things. There must be an easier way, perhaps, to turn it all off for 1 second, but let's just do it like this. Once, finished, and here I'm going to add a weight, and let's perhaps make a weight of 1.5 seconds. Finished, finished. And here I'm back at the beginning. And at the beginning, I'm also just going to add now all these properties. Because at the beginning, all these things, I don't want to be dizzy. I want to be able to move. I want to be able to jump. I want to have my direction. So let's check it out. And let's see if it works on the first try. Falling, boom. And I'm dizzy. And then I'm back. Great, so that's how you can play with fall damage. I hope you can use it in your game. Let me know what you think. If you have any other requests, just let me know. Please subscribe if you liked the video, and see you all next time. Cheers!